To the Minister for Education, Training and Skills, is the government ending funding for entrepreneurial leadership positions at Mount Gambier, Murray Bridge, Heathfield, Banksia Park and Seaton High Schools at the end of this year? And with your leave and that of the House, I'll explain.
Leave is sought as leave granted. Member for Murray-Alta.
Thank you, sir. In an answer provided through the Parliament today by the Minister to a question taken on notice on the 8th of September last year, the Minister said, and I quote, "Funding has been committed to the Entrepreneurial Learning Strategy in 22-23. This funding supports the 5 entrepreneurial specialist schools to complete their program of initiatives and deliver on the outcomes of the strategy, which are due to be completed by the end of 2023. Separately, sir, members of the affected school communities have raised concerns with the opposition that these positions, including assistant principals, will be let go at the end of this year."
Minister.
Well, thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank the member for Murray-Alta for his question. And I might say that I've taken the very clear attitude in my time as Minister, Mr Speaker, that programs and initiatives that the former government did that I thought were working and were of a positive benefit should stay, and I've made that decision in the case of a lot of programs that were either commenced or continued under the member for Murray-Alta's tenure. I'd have to get some specifics probably about the questions to which he refers today, although I understand that the programs were funded for a certain period of time. The funding was designed to conclude at the end of that period, and that the programs were designed, Mr Speaker, to make sure that those schools, the 5 that the member for Murray-Alta raises, were self-sufficient after that time and not requiring more funding. I will take the question around whether or not the leadership roles were, particularly assistant principal roles, are still being funded or not, and I'll come back to the House on that. But I think I have a pretty good track record so far of supporting programs that are doing good things for South Australian kids, regardless of whether they commenced under Labor governments or Liberal governments. And if this is indeed the case of a program that was receiving funding that is no longer, I'm pretty sure it would only be the case that the program had a natural conclusion and that has now reached that natural conclusion.